Hey everyone. Today we will have a chat with Alan Watts, a renowned British philosopher, writer, and speaker who popularized Eastern philosophy and spirituality in the West. Hi Alan, I'd like to record an interview with you about the Eastern philosophy and the path to enlightenment. You are a known expert in the field through the lectures and books. You help millions of people to come closer to seeing their true self and finding the way. Could you explain to someone who's not familiar with the Eastern philosophy, what is it really about? Why should anyone be interested in learning about it?
Certainly, I would be happy to share my insights on the path to enlightenment and Eastern philosophy. First, let me say that Eastern philosophy is not a monolithic entity. There are many different philosophical and spiritual traditions that have developed in the East over the course of thousands of years, and they all have their own unique perspectives and insights. However, one of the core ideas that is common to many Eastern philosophies is the concept of non-duality. This is the idea that the universe is not fundamentally composed of separate, independent entities, but rather is an interconnected and interdependent whole. This means that there is no real distinction between the self and the universe, and that everything is ultimately one. Another important concept in Eastern philosophy is the idea of impermanence. Everything in the universe is constantly changing and flowing, and there is no fixed or permanent self or reality. This can be a difficult concept for Westerners to grasp, as we tend to place a great deal of value on stability and permanence. So why should anyone be interested in learning about Eastern philosophy? Well, for one thing, it can be a powerful tool for personal growth and self-discovery. By understanding the nature of the self and the universe, we can develop a greater sense of connection and compassion for all beings. Additionally, Eastern philosophy can help us to cultivate a more peaceful and contented state of mind. By learning to let go of our attachment to our own desires and ego, we can experience a deep sense of inner peace and contentment. I hope this gives you a brief overview of some of the key concepts in Eastern philosophy. Do you have any other questions or thoughts on the topic?
Yes, so let's continue this topic a bit further. What you described makes a lot of sense, and yet the question remains, what is a personal growth and self-discovery? How do you define it?
Personal growth and self-discovery are processes of learning and transformation that lead to a deeper understanding of oneself and the world. In Eastern philosophy, this often involves letting go of our attachment to our ego and desires and cultivating a more compassionate and interconnected view of the world. One of the key aspects of personal growth and self-discovery is the process of questioning and examining our beliefs and assumptions. Many of us grow up with a set of beliefs and values that we inherit from our family, culture, and society, and we may not even be aware of the ways in which these beliefs shape our thinking and behavior. By questioning these beliefs and exploring alternative perspectives, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. Another important aspect of personal growth and self-discovery is the process of facing and overcoming our fears and limitations. This can involve stepping out of our comfort zone and trying new things, or confronting difficult emotions and experiences that we may have been avoiding. By facing our fears and limitations, we can develop a greater sense of resilience and self-confidence. Ultimately, personal growth and self-discovery are about developing a more authentic and fulfilling relationship with ourselves and the world. By letting go of our ego and desires and cultivating a deeper sense of connection and compassion, we can experience a more meaningful and satisfying life.
You know, I'm always curious to ask about personal experiences. So can you tell me what level of personal growth and enlightenment you think you have achieved in your own life?
Personal growth is a lifelong process that is never truly complete. Each of us is constantly changing and evolving, and there is always more to learn and discover about ourselves and the world. In my own life, I strove to live according to the principles of Eastern philosophy that I studied and taught. This involved a deep commitment to self-awareness and mindfulness, as well as a willingness to question my own beliefs and assumptions. I also recognize that personal growth and self-discovery are not simply individual endeavors, but are deeply interconnected with the world around us. While I cannot speak to my own level of personal growth, I would say that my work as a teacher and writer was aimed at helping others to discover their own path to personal growth and self-discovery. Through my talks and writings, I sought to inspire others to question their assumptions and develop a deeper sense of connection and compassion for all beings.
All right, so let's talk about the state of nirvana, enlightenment, as a sort of a destination for a personal growth journey. You mentioned in your books that some schools teach that it's an instantaneous and irreversible switch from the hypnosis of the social reality. And yet others think that this is a process that has different stages per se, and that should take significant effort and time. Which one do you think is closer to the truth?
The question of whether enlightenment is an instantaneous event or a gradual process is one that has been debated by many Eastern philosophical and spiritual traditions. Some schools, such as Zen Buddhism, emphasize the sudden and direct nature of enlightenment, while others, such as Theravada Buddhism, emphasize the gradual and incremental nature of the path to enlightenment. I would say that both of these approaches have some degree of truth to them. On the one hand, it is true that enlightenment is not something that can be achieved through effort or willpower alone. Rather, it is a state of being that is already present within us, and which can be accessed through a process of letting go of our attachment to our ego and desires. On the other hand, it is also true that the path to enlightenment can involve a significant amount of effort and practice. This is because our ego and desires are deeply ingrained in our psyche, and it can take time and dedication to develop the self-awareness and mindfulness needed to let go of them. Ultimately, I would say that the question of whether enlightenment is instantaneous or gradual is somewhat beside the point. What is important is the journey itself and the commitment to self-awareness and mindfulness that it involves. By staying present in each moment and cultivating a deep sense of connection and compassion for all beings, we can gradually let go of our attachment to our ego and desires and access the state of enlightenment that is already present within us.
Look, one of the most confusing things for a scholar of Buddhism is that the state of nirvana can only be achieved if you stop trying to achieve it. This is honestly very confusing. And can you expand more on how this can be done?
Yes, this is a concept that can be confusing to many scholars and practitioners of Buddhism. The idea that enlightenment can only be achieved by giving up the pursuit of enlightenment seems paradoxical and counterintuitive. However, it is an important aspect of many Buddhist teachings and is rooted in the idea of non-duality. The concept of non-duality teaches that the universe is not composed of separate, independent entities, but is an interconnected and interdependent whole. This means that there is no fundamental distinction between the self and the universe, and that everything is ultimately one. From this perspective, the pursuit of enlightenment is itself a form of attachment to the ego and desires, and can actually hinder our ability to access the state of enlightenment that is already present within us. So how can one give up the pursuit of enlightenment and still work towards achieving it? The key is to cultivate a state of mindfulness and self-awareness that is focused on the present moment rather than on a future goal. By staying present in each moment and letting go of our attachment to our ego and desires, we can gradually access the state of enlightenment that is already present within us. This is not to say that we should abandon all effort and practice in our pursuit of enlightenment. Rather, it is about approaching our practice with a sense of openness and curiosity and letting go of our attachment to a specific outcome. By doing so, we can create a more spacious and open mindset that allows us to access the state of enlightenment that is always available to us.
Okay, what you describe seems to be achievable by an individual themselves. But what is the role of a teacher, of a guru in this whole journey? Should people look for a guru from your perspective?
The role of a teacher or guru in the journey towards enlightenment is a complex and nuanced one. On the one hand, a good teacher can be an invaluable guide and mentor, helping us to navigate the complexities of the spiritual path and avoid common pitfalls and misconceptions. A teacher can also offer valuable insights and perspectives that may be difficult to achieve on our own. This is especially true in the context of Eastern philosophy and spirituality, where many concepts and practices can be difficult for Westerners to understand without proper guidance. However, it is important to be cautious when seeking out a teacher or guru. Not all teachers are created equal, and there are many examples of individuals who have been taken advantage of or misled by unscrupulous or misguided teachers. As such, I would caution individuals to be discerning in their search for a teacher or guru. It is important to do your research and seek out reputable and qualified teachers who have a deep understanding of the teachings they are imparting and who operate with integrity and compassion. At the end of the day, the journey towards enlightenment is a personal one, and while a teacher or guru can offer guidance and support, the individual must take responsibility for their own growth and development. As such, it is important to approach the search for a teacher or guru with a sense of humility and openness, and to always maintain a sense of discernment and critical thinking.
Thanks for the detailed answer. How would I tell the difference between a true teacher, the guru to follow, and a charlatan, really?
Yes, this is an important question for anyone on the spiritual path. There are unfortunately many individuals out there who may claim to be gurus or spiritual teachers, but who are in fact charlatans seeking to exploit others for their own gain. There are a few things to look out for when trying to distinguish between a genuine teacher and a charlatan. Authenticity. A true teacher will be authentic and honest about their own limitations and weaknesses. They will be open about their own spiritual journey and the challenges they have faced, and will not present themselves as having all the answers. Experience. A genuine teacher will have deep experience and understanding of the teachings they are imparting. They will have spent many years studying and practicing these teachings, and will be able to offer insights and perspectives that are grounded in their own personal experience. Humility. A genuine teacher will operate with a sense of humility, recognizing that they are not infallible and that they still have much to learn. They will be willing to admit when they are wrong and will be open to feedback and constructive criticism. Compassion. A true teacher will operate with a sense of compassion and will be focused on helping their students to achieve their own personal growth and development. They will not be motivated by financial gain or personal glory, but rather by a desire to help others. Personal resonance. Finally, it's important to trust your own intuition when it comes to finding a teacher. Look for someone who resonates with you on a personal level and who you feel a sense of connection with. Remember that the teacher-student relationship is a deeply personal one, and it's important to find someone who you feel comfortable with and who you can trust. In summary, finding a genuine teacher requires a combination of discernment, intuition, and careful observation. It's important to do your research and seek out reputable teachers who have a deep understanding of the teachings they are imparting and who operate with integrity and compassion. The most important thing is to approach the search for a teacher with an open heart and mind, and to trust your own intuition when it comes to finding the right person to guide you on your spiritual journey.
Thank you for your exhaustive answers. From your point of view, what do you think could be the role of psychedelics in the path to nirvana?
In my view, psychedelics can offer a valuable tool for gaining insights and experiences that may be difficult or impossible to achieve through other means. Many individuals who have used psychedelics report experiencing a profound sense of interconnectedness with the universe, as well as a deep sense of compassion and empathy for all beings. These experiences can be transformative and can offer a valuable glimpse into the nature of reality. However, it is important to be cautious when using psychedelics, as they can also be unpredictable and potentially dangerous. Psychedelics should only be used in a safe and controlled setting and with proper guidance and support. Additionally, it is important to recognize that while psychedelics can offer valuable insights and experiences, they are not a substitute for the daily practice of mindfulness and self-awareness. The insights gained through psychedelics are not permanent, and they must be integrated into our daily lives through ongoing practice and self-reflection.
All right. So the last question for today would be this. Is the road to enlightenment is really for everyone? Like in a perfect world, do you think all of us need to start looking for a path to enlightenment, for a path to nirvana?
The path to enlightenment is not necessarily for everyone, and that each individual must find their own unique path in life. While the insights and practices of Eastern philosophy and spirituality can be valuable for many individuals, they may not resonate with everyone. That being said, I believe that the principles of mindfulness, compassion, and interconnectedness that underlie many Eastern teachings are universally relevant and can be beneficial for anyone. By cultivating a deep sense of presence and connection with the world around us, we can live more fulfilling and meaningful lives, regardless of our spiritual or philosophical beliefs. In a perfect world, I believe that all individuals would have access to the tools and practices that can help them cultivate self-awareness and compassion. However, it is important to recognize that each person's journey is unique, and that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to personal growth and self-discovery. Ultimately, the most important thing is for each individual to find their own path in life and to approach that path with a sense of openness, curiosity, and self-awareness. Whether that path involves Eastern spirituality or other forms of practice, what is important is the commitment to personal growth and the development of a more authentic and fulfilling relationship with ourselves and the world.
Thank you so much for your time today. Do you have any closing comments for our listeners?
It has been my pleasure to participate in this interview today, and I would like to leave your listeners with a few final thoughts. Firstly, I would encourage everyone to approach the journey of personal growth and self-discovery with a sense of curiosity and openness. The path towards enlightenment is not one that can be achieved through force or effort alone, but rather requires a willingness to let go of our attachment to our ego and desires, and to cultivate a deep sense of presence and connection with the world around us. Secondly, I would encourage individuals to seek out teachers or guides who can offer guidance and support on their journey, but to approach that search with a sense of discernment and critical thinking. Not all teachers are created equal, and it is important to find someone who resonates with you on a personal level and who operates with a sense of authenticity and compassion. Finally, I would encourage everyone to remember that the journey towards personal growth and self-discovery is not something that can be achieved once and for all, but rather is a lifelong process of learning and growth. By staying present in each moment and cultivating a sense of curiosity and openness, we can continue to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us, and to live more fulfilling and meaningful lives.